Hello and welcome to the Zero Strategy Podcast. I'm joined today by my co-hosts. We have Grog Mode.
Hello.
And we have Sir Humps.
Hello.
So as always, guys, if you have any questions for us, please feel free to throw them in the chat and we'll get to them as much as we can as we go through. Grog, how has your week been? What have you been up to?
Week's been pretty good. I'm woefully behind on like cutting clips for the channel and stuff. There's been some really good streams lately, and normally when I go back, there's usually like 3-4 moments from stream that are like kind of good, and then of those, like maybe a couple that are worth keeping. But I had so many good ones in the last 10 days. It's just like taking me a while to plow through them. But overall, things are good. I did a new thing with my setup here in the office where now I've got like the one good microphone, and it's covering audio for both the game PC and the stream PC. So no more headset mic.
So you've got Discord running through
yeah,
the good mic as well. Okay.
Yeah, well, it's Discord. It's actually anything that would be picking up audio. Like this is now considered a virtual hardware input on the game PC. So like if I were to talk to like chat, or sorry, not chat, but like if I was talking to Discord or if I was talking to like friends in game, they actually like hear me at a better fidelity, which I'm kind of excited about. So it's it was like really fucking frustrating.
I
managed to figure it out.
Audio always is.
Yeah, you explained it to me. You sent me a paragraph explaining how you did it, and I was like, that sounds like way too much work. I don't even understand.
It's one of the things where when I was talking to Eve's been having some issues with stream stuff recently, and she's going to take a little break from streaming, which is why she's here today in spirit, but and as is Cyber, he had a car trouble, so he's not here. But I was talking to Eve, and it's like the problem with audio is, on one hand, you've got the technicality of like how do you literally route all the stuff, plug this into that, and get this to come out of that, and your inputs and your outputs and all that stuff. And then secondary to all that, you've got your levels, just making sure all your audio sources are kind of like keyed in where you want them to be. And then on top of that, each individual audio source, if you've got more than one, bless you, but like each individual audio source, you've got you have to worry about the gain. You got to worry about like whether you do like a high or a low pass filter. You got to worry about like, do you de-ess it? Do you like compress it? Like there's 50,000 things you can do.
It's like a bop game. De-ess it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's audio is the fucking devil's butthole. It's
the worst. Yeah.
Yeah.
You ring.
Hobbs, how about you? How's your week been?
It has been eventful. I have streamed every single day this week.
Yeah,
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and yes, Saturday. I normally stream like maybe 3 days a week. But I was off this week and I didn't have a whole lot going on. Well, that's the thing. Like we actually had a lot going on this week. My mom's coming to visit next week, and which I'm super excited. We haven't been able to go out there and see her in like 2 years. So it'll be nice to have her come out and stay. So we've been getting the spare room. It's been just having like a bedroom there in case someone comes by, but we want to get it like mom-in-law kind of, even though she's not my in-law, but the mother-in-law suite kind of ready to go. So like we took our TV that was on our room, which was the old living room TV. So it's this big ass 60-inch TV. And I mounted it on the wall of the spare room right in front of the bed. We're going to be taking the couch that's in here. We're going to be taking, because they call it it's in the South. They call it a family room over the garage. It's a Southern thing. I don't know. So there's no like, it's just a bigger like kind of family room.
Mm-hmm.
But we're making it into like a big spare room kind of, so the space for a couch, her bed, TV, space for just kind of, I don't know. We've just been kind of doing that
just say
stuff.
how funny it is to think that I know this wasn't the intent, but in a way it's kind of like, she's going to go in there and she's like, oh, wow, that's such a nice big TV. Little does she know it's like hand me down twice. It's like, well, this used to be our living room TV. In fact,
this is
my
a
TV. So
10-year.
this is
10-plus-year-old TV. Like
we
everyone's like,
have
60-inch TV in a bedroom. Yeah, it's old as fuck. Chill out. But and
she doesn't need to know.
Yeah, she doesn't. Yeah, she don't care. You know what I mean? It's like I could say, hey, this is a 4K OLED. She'd be like, wow, cool. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't give a shit about that stuff. But I was surprised. It was a pain in the ass because I was mounting it on the wall. So I got the wall mount. I got my stud finder. I was finding my studs.
Did you do the classic? Yeah, here we go.
Did it just keep pointing to yourself?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
obviously, beep, 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 beep. I am found positive. 1 second. Thank you. The TV I'm talking about, they need help with. Apparently it's broke. No. Anyway, so I found the studs, and I was looking up standard stud lengths. It's 16 inches, and they're except it's 24 inches in older homes. And I'm going through this thing, and I was like, this shit ain't matching up to 16 inches. And I started marking off the studs of the wall I want to put on. This thing is random as fuck. I'm talking, it's got some studs that are 6 inches apart, some that are 24, some that are 18, one that was completely made no sense. But I ended up doing some crazy stuff because mainly I'm a genius and I know everything, and I was able to work it out. But no, so it looks good. There's no but. It came out really nice. My back hurts a lot today, though. I am sore as fuck. Just holding things and moving things. I don't know. But yeah, it's been a busy week, man. I've been doing stuff like that. I've been gaming.
I'm surprised you haven't mentioned your new piece of kit in front of you. You've been
this thing right here. For our visual peeps, this is it's a foam mic cover. That's all it is. It's just a foam pop filter. But this thing is awesome because it smells so fucking good. I haven't been on it since I got it. It's just that smell. I don't know what it is, man. I started it and it's just you want to breathe it in as deep as possible. I don't know what it is, but it smells so freaking good. And I can't I just want to touch it. And I noticed yesterday when I was streaming, I was just what's up going on, guys? It's a guy. My res is safe. Just because I want to put my face on it. It smells so
we
good.
might need to arrange for someone to, in the middle of the night, just remove that.
No.
I'm worried about you, man.
I'm going to tape it to my nose. Some people have eye masks to go to sleep in. I have a mic foam pad that I tape to my face.
Oh my goodness.
But it's been good. Yeah.
Good, I'm glad.
Big thing real quick on my channel. Earlier this week we had a channel goal called Sir Mohawk, and the channel goal, if reached, would mean I would cut my hair into a mohawk. And I have a lot of hair right now. I haven't cut my hair in over a year. So there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff to work with. So we reached the goal. We will be cutting our hair into a mohawk, and we will also be dyeing it. And I think we got 3 colors that we're going to be doing probably a Twitter poll, I imagine. Blue with white streaks or highlights, gray with white highlights, and I think it's purple with white highlights. They want to keep the theme of gray
white
streaks.
Highlights. So are you going it's going to be full bald on the sides?
One on the. If it's not the mohawk, it's a 1. So basically, probably a little shorter than what your hair is right now.
Yeah, dude, that's gonna be a big change.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And the boy's getting it too. He's super excited. He's getting a blue mohawk. My little boy is too. So we're doing it at the same time.
And then if you don't want to put it up, you can just kind of braid it across, do the
I did tell my wife that idea because I liked it. I thought a Viking braiding would be dope.
Watch yourself, Condi, because that's how my wife has her hair. She has the undercut. And then she has it swooped over.
I like the undercut.
That's a style. I'm not saying it's a style. Just comb over if you're absolutely.
I'm gonna tell her that you called it a comb over.
Well, it's not quite a comb over.
I do not have a comb over, Condi.
if I actually say it loud enough, she'll probably just hear me in the
Dad.
house and come into the room and just like dispute you. In
Dad, we
person.
don't need that. That's fine. It's all good. Don't worry about it. Well, I've had a busy week as well. I've actually not been streaming as much because we have like basically election materials this week that need delivered. So work has been crazy busy, and it will continue to be for the first half of this coming week. So it's kind of like, you know, I'm finishing work much later than normal, and by the time I get home and get something to eat, it's just not worth hopping onto stream. But I have been playing Valheim off stream. And I streamed it this morning because I'm obsessed with that game. It's so goddamn fun. And yeah, I just love it. It's so chill and relaxing.
I was watching you today and I was getting interested. That's not my thing, but I was like, man, I could really kind of just probably ham out and just build shit. You know what I mean? Like I could see myself getting in on that.
Well,
and
what's
I don't
fun
want to because
is
I
that-
feel like it would just consume me.
That's kind of where I'm at right now in my life. I'm just consumed by it. But like, what's fun about it is that you can obviously, there's so much stuff to build, and you can kind of build up your character with different armor and weapons and stuff like that. And there is bosses that you can go and fight as well. So obviously on stream, it's just like me and Dale, just chilling and building stuff and whatever. But then off stream, I've had like my brother-in-law and my brothers jumping in as well. And there's like 6 of us going around like fighting bosses and exploring together. It's a really good time. And what's amazing, like Eve, I was trying to convince Eve this morning to play it because I think she'll really enjoy it too. And she was like, "Wait, this whole game's only 500 megabytes." We're like, "Yeah, yeah, it's that small. Like it's an insanely small download because obviously it's all very kind of low res textures, but the game still looks beautiful. Like it's a good looking game, and it's." I don't know. There's just something really appealing about it to me. And it's not the type of game I would ever normally stream. Because I love these kind of sandbox survival games in my own time. Because I like to just sit here and be really like specific and organize all my resources. And, you know, go away for 2 hours and farm a material and come back. Like, it really, I don't know, for some reason, it just appeals to my brain. I just like it. But... usually, I would think it's pretty boring to watch on stream, but the streams have been fun. People seem to like it, so I'm going to keep doing it. The big thing that happened this week is Grog and I had our challenge, our head-to-head.
Interesting.
So if you didn't catch the streams, it will get made into some videos. Actually, Grog, I kind of want to get your VODs as well, so I can cut some stuff from your side of it into the videos as well.
Yeah, I can send it to you.
We'll talk. We'll work that out. But so I'm trying out like
guys. Good stuff.
Yeah, I'm
Make sure you
kind of
get those.
working. I'm kind of working on this idea of like a series where I challenge other streamers to like a best of 3 head to head, and it's not necessarily just always video games. I wanted to do kind of more unique stuff. So we started out with a Wikipedia race, which was, I mean, I really enjoyed that. I thought that was so much fun.
I thought that was fun. I hadn't actually done one before. I understood roughly what it was. For anyone who doesn't know, it's basically you pick a starting article. Ideally, the more random, the better, in the sense that like neither participant is overly familiar with it. And then you pick a destination, and then so the idea is you have to get from A to B, but you can only use the like hyperlinks within each article that you start with. You also can't go backward. You can't do Control F to like search the article really quick. So for example, like one of them was like some ancient battle in Greece, and then our destination was like Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Or maybe that was a different one. But like that's the idea. And so like we had to figure out how to get from A to B in the shortest number of steps possible. And that kind of stuff is funny because then it's like, you know, you kind of could sit there and deliberate like, oh, well, do I click this thinking that it's going to take me to a bigger directory and then I can like go from there into something more narrow or what? But then it's also a race. So like I spent a little too much time deliberating with like just thinking out loud, more for chat's benefit and also just because I couldn't decide what to do, and then kind of zipped through a couple of them. So he came out 2-1 in that one.
The thing I liked about it, so we set a timer of 5 minutes, and we were like, you know, if it gets to 5 and neither of us get there, then we call that round a draw and we move on. There was one where we had to get to Geppetto, the character from Pinocchio. And I can't remember where we started on that one, but it was something super... I think that one might have been the one where we started on like an ancient battle.
Yeah,
And
I think that was the one, and I think the other one was like the poem "Oh Captain, My Captain."
That's
and
right.
then that's how we got to Breaking Bad.
That's right, yeah. But like, so for me, it was like it's a game about working backwards. So I was thinking like, okay, Geppetto's in Pinocchio. I was like, I think Pinocchio's Disney. How do I get to Disney? And then I'm like, well, Disneyland. There's a Disneyland in France. So I was like, if I get to France, I can get there. And like that was kind of my thinking. And that one particularly, I got to Geppetto with 4 seconds left on the timer.
Oh wow.
The most stressful thing when I was on the Pinocchio page, knowing I had 10 seconds, and I was like, I have to find the link.
It's funny too, because like I got in my own way going the opposite direction. I didn't think about it in reverse. I kind of thought about how I would get there, but I worked it from front to back, then back to front. And so my problem was when it cut off, I was at information on heirs, like to be the heir of something. And it's like the whole idea of Geppetto is like he couldn't have a kid, right?
Yeah.
And so my thought was like, okay, well, he couldn't have a kid, so he made a kid. He made a son. And I was like, but he made a son so he could have an heir, right? Like so that I got there and I felt like I was close, but then Connie's idea of like got to France to get to Disneyland to get to Geppetto was actually kind of a brilliant.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's super satisfying when you actually get there. So I enjoyed that. I want to do more of those. And then we did GeoGuessr for a second one, where I was accused of cheating. So
you, I think it goes beyond being accused of cheating, because not only did your chat say you were cheating, but apparently you said to your own chat, "I might have cheated" or something to that effect.
Well, so I didn't think ahead to like close chat or put it in emote only. So I was looking and I was trying to work it out, and I kind of had a rough idea, and then I did glance at chat and somebody just had the answer, and I was like, that's the right answer. I can see that now. So like I'm not going to click somewhere else because I know like it makes perfect sense. So yeah, that's fair. I'll admit that, and I think in future for GeoGuessr rounds, I'm just closing chat and not looking at it at all. So I can't be accused.
The way that it shook out, I still came ahead in the points.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sort of on a technicality, so.
GeoGuessr's a tough one. Humps and I actually played yesterday.
Oh, yeah, we did.
And I think there was one where I was really, really close. It was
Bordeaux. France. You were like 7 kilometers away or something like that.
Yeah, I was pretty close on that one, but the rest of them were
there
just
was
atrocious.
There was a moment where kind of like, oh man, I don't think I did great. Like I don't know, let's say like 4,000 or like 4,000 kilometers away, and Humps was like, yeah, I didn't do much better. I was 7,000 kilometers. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Did I say 7? I meant 17,000. Because it was like the one where you chose Colorado, but it was like in Argentina.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, kind of a big difference between 7 and 17.
Yeah.
But it was fun content, and then we finished out with Rocket League, which I feel like I was scammed. To be honest, I didn't realize
for sure.
You were a pro Rocket League player. I was absolutely hustled. I specifically chose...
Grog was like a 2-time Rocket League champ.
I specifically chose Rocket League because I thought it'll be funny because I don't really know Rocket League. I've played it in the years ago just very casually. And I didn't... I mean, I guess I should have asked, but I just assumed Grog wasn't super familiar. I've never seen you play Rocket League.
I don't think I've played it in 3 years, though. I mean, I used to play it a lot, but like I haven't.
Not since they asked him to leave because no one else could beat him. He had remained the champion for so long. They asked him to step down.
And the irony too is we go into this and I haven't played it in years. I get really excited that Epic allows you to like link it to previous accounts that you've had. So it like kind of hard locks like any like your current account to like whatever past cosmetics and stuff you had. And I was like, oh, I can link this all the way back to my PlayStation account. Like I haven't been on my PlayStation in forever. And then when I booted it up, I was like, oh, I still have this cosmetic and that cosmetic. And there's this thing where when you score a goal, you can choose to have a cosmetic effect. And I forgot that I played during this Halloween event, and I had like grinded during this Halloween event to get this one sort of like goal explosion where basically ball goes in the net, and instead of just like fireworks going off, it's a giant Grim Reaper that dabs. And so Candy's chat was making fun of him because he had like the basic starter car, and I had like this flash car with like animated decals and shit. Like, and then I get the first goal, and it's just a dabbing Grim Reaper. Oh god,
Yeah, I
It-
feel like
it
I might
cracked
have
me up.
slightly opened the floodgates for you again now and restarted that addiction. On,
I played it the next
Rocket
day.
League. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I actually had a blast playing that, and
Do you
so
not
that
want to mention the 2 own goals that you scored on yourself?
I don't remember that. That doesn't sound right.
Ooh,
Do you
yeah.
or how we went into the last? 'cause
I
it was-
beat
we
you
were
in
playing
one
best of
round.
3 matches. Yeah, and it was 1v1 going into the final round, and then what? Do you remember what the score was for the last
It
round?
was like 9-0 or something.
I think it was like I think it was 7-1.
Okay. But I
Two of
did
those were
help
your
you.
own goals.
I did help you. I scored 2 goals. Yeah. Yeah. But it was
best
a
thing-
ton of fun. I enjoyed that.
I
a
watched
lot.
your VOD, and the funniest thing about it to me was at one point Connie says, and what were the stakes? Because you
Well,
said
that's-
this is first off, this was your whole idea. I'd like to point out, I did not challenge Condi to any of these events. I didn't come up with any of the suggestions to the events. He came up with the suggestions for Rocket League, Wiki Race, and GeoGuessr,
Yeah.
and he challenged me. Like, so then he also came up with the stakes. And what were the stakes?
So that was the whole, to me, it was like the stakes are the most important part, right? Because the whole event, obviously, I want it to be interesting from a viewer perspective to see 2 streamers kind of compete at stuff that they don't normally see on our channels, right? Give us a bit, so the idea was that, the viewers get to see a little slightly different side of it, and we have this little friendly competition. But to me, the stakes are really important because that's what matters. That's what makes it. That's what makes the. That's what puts the pressure on and kind of builds that hype for chat. So I was struggling to come up with them. I simply asked Grog, if I win, he has to tweet, "Condy Fly is 5'9". That's all I wanted. I don't remember whose idea it was, but
That was
if
yours.
I lost,
For a man that's not short, you sure as hell do your damnedest to make sure people know it.
well, Grog has previously gone on the record suggesting a different height, which is false.
Yeah, I used science. And
Science. Yeah.
math. Yeah.
flawed.
Facts.
Flawed.
Yeah.
So I just wanted him to go on the record and claim that the video he made about my height was wrong. That's all I wanted.
the factual science video he made.
The sort of mini documentary. Yeah, I wanted him to just basically do that. But unfortunately, I lost, and as part of that loss, my Twitter name is it's currently changed to Shortyfly.
What was that again?
Sorry, what?
It's currently
That's
changed to Shortyfly.
Shorty Fly.
Yes.
Now here's the
Oh.
funny thing. I didn't ask him. He told me that I needed to make the tweet Condi is 5'9", and then I said, okay, well, what happens if I win? And he said, I will change my name to Shorty Fly for a week on Twitter.
Yeah.
I didn't ask that of him.
That was my chat's idea.
Okay.
Because there was
Just
a
wanna
lot of
make that
ideas
clear.
going around. They were saying like, hey, you could each take control of the other's Twitter for 24 hours or something. But I was like, that's not
Oh,
fun because I
That's a
wouldn't.
good one.
It's a good one,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't. I would just tweet Condyfly's 5'9" from Grog's account. That's all I would do. I don't have the
Oh,
heart
then
to
you're
do
good.
anything more cruel to
Oh.
him. I couldn't do it. I'd feel terrible. I'd feel awful if I did anything like
Oh, I wouldn't.
too bad.
Oh, yeah, your Twitter would be ruined.
I said I think on stream that I would just have him follow some really suspect people, like Nigel Farage and
God.
like Boris Johnson. And,
So
Start retweeting random shit.
yeah, but I need to come up with some better stakes for next time. Like I did a video this past week where I played the higher or lower game against my chat, which I was really proud of how well that went, because the way we had it was obviously there's the higher or lower website, and it's just like based on average Google searches for like the particular month, and you just have to guess what's got more searches, higher or lower. So the way we did it is I would do a round, and then I would get my score. I don't know, say 10. 10 was like, top 10% in the world. Not to brag, but, I got 10. And then it's like chat's turn. And the way we did it was we had mods running polls for higher or lower. And I had like a window capture on the screen so you could see the poll in like real time. and then chat would decide between themselves if it was higher or lower, and then I would click it based on what they voted. And chat sucked at that game. I demolished them. I said to them, like, hey, if you beat me, I will reduce the cooldown on the Insta-dab to 5 minutes.
Oh
That was the stakes. Never even got close. I was beating them, and I was like, you know what? In the interest of making this exciting, we'll just do one more round, winner takes all. You know, even though you're behind, I'll give you the chance. No, not even close. They sucked. But to me, that's an important thing now, because it's like, if you're gonna do something like that, you gotta have something on the line. Makes it more fun.
And the reason why I mentioned the stakes was because my favorite part of rewatching your VOD is when you say, Connie's getting really cocky, and he's like, all right. Listen, Grog, you better get that tweet ready. Just have it in your drafts, have it ready to send. And like right as he's like at the height of his bragging, I just like do this front flip with the car and just bang it straight into the net. And he's just like, oh. The timing could not have been better.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I'm going to be challenging more people to similar things. And like I say, it doesn't always have to be the same, like Wiki Race, GeoGuess, or whatever. Like, you know, it could be a game of chess or a 1v1 in a game. Like, I just think it's fun. It's a bit of variety, and it's something a little different. So, yeah, but it's going to be a nightmare to edit that.
To any would-be challengers out there, you know that his Achilles heel is Rocket League. So you know.
Rocket League is it's blacklisted. It's no more allowed. Not allowed in the event again. Anyway, let's talk some Twitch stuff. So, Grog, you were telling me earlier about this roadmap they released. So Twitch did another sort of mini town hall sort of podcast thing where they talked a little more about DMCA. Doesn't seem like much came out of it. Nothing new, really. But you've got the timeline there, Grog, yeah?
Yeah, one of the things that they laid out was they laid out things that they've already done. So things like objectives that have been launched, and then other things mostly starting in April of this year, Q2, and then outlining things for Q3 and Q4 of this year. So in terms of Q4 of 2020, last year, they provided multi-track audio support in OBS, which I think we talked about briefly on a previous podcast. Yep. So multi-track audio is awesome because you can like effectively make it so that like some stuff that is part of the overall stream will go to the recording, and then other stuff won't go to the recording, like to the VOD itself. And basically there's just extra audio channels for you to play with. Just pretty neat.
To touch on that though, I don't like that they keep bringing this up during the DMCA conversation, because again, just to
does nothing for live takedown.
Yeah, just to make it very obvious, the idea, what they're saying with these multi-tracks is, hey, you can have, you know, say I'm listening to music, I could have it on an audio track where people that are watching live get to hear that music, but as soon as the stream ends, the VOD gets saved, the music doesn't get saved along with it, right?
It does seem suspect, like they're almost like pseudo encouraging people to like play copywritten music, but this is like a workaround. But like they're not saying that. The
way that they're presenting it, if you're not educated on DMCA and you're not read up on it and understand it, you might be thinking, oh, great, I can just listen to music and then it doesn't save it to the VOD. Perfect. Because, like, I mean, realistically, who cares that much about their VODs on Twitch? I mean, there's not a lot of people watching VODs most of the time. So I don't like that
generally for people like yourself, Condi, where you're taking that content and then cutting it up for
which I think is great, right? And I think that's absolutely fantastic. But it's shady to me that they keep bringing this up around the DMCA conversation, because people can still get a strike for a live video. You will get a strike, you know, if for listening to it live, even if it doesn't save to your VOD. So please just be aware of that's not a solution for DMCA. That's just a completely unrelated tool.
It's a creative tool
yeah,
that will be useful for people who are still observing the laws of the land, you know, so to speak. And they have a use for their VODs that maybe they repackage them for other platforms, and they just want something where it's just, you know, microphone audio only, or they don't want game audio. I mean, mind you, this doesn't have to be music related. You could even make it so that the game audio is not part of it. Mm-hmm. Whatever your end goal is, it just gives people options. And I think the support for it is fantastic. How they choose to keep bringing it up while referring to DMCA is weird
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it does seem like they're kind of nudging people like, hey, by the way, you can kind of do this thing. But it's like that's not the point.
Yeah.
So I don't know. One of the other things that happened in quarter 4 of last year was individuals could select specific VODs to unpublished, which was great. We talked about it a lot last year, how there weren't a lot of robust tools for people to manage VODs after the fact, especially like clips and highlights. There just hadn't been a need to kind of like shuffle them about en masse, because before, DMCA wasn't really a thing that anyone was facing on the regular, and now that it is, we needed better tools to manage it. So that was something they added. They also included editors for a Twitch channel now have access to clips, which is actually kind of great because if you have a mod, you can make them an editor, or you can give them the editor role on top of the moderator role. And the nice thing about giving someone editor permissions for your channel is not only can they make cuts and highlights of VODs themselves, but they also can download your clips. Right now, if you have a clip on Twitch, I could share it with someone. You can share it with anyone you want. People can go to your channel and look them up, but they themselves can't download them. And this gives editors an extra level of access so that, let's say you had someone who is on your mod team, they also edit videos for you for other platforms, be it TikTok or YouTube or what have you. Now they can go in, and if you've made a highlight of something or you've made a clip, they can download your material, or they can also cut and clip their own using the highlight feature in the video producer suite. So that's nice. And then as of this year, I'm going to run through the rest of these really quick. Launched in quarter 1 of this year, you can now select batches of up to 20 VODs to unpublish and or delete. You can select all VODs to unpublish or delete. The big thing that people have been talking about recently this week has been, now there's a notification in your Twitch dashboard. So if you use the Twitch dashboard at all, if you go to the video producer section, you can now see if there's been any copyright strikes ever, like on your channel.
Grog, do you have any?
I don't have any. I posted
Connie,
about
do
it.
you have any?
I got none.
Humps, do I have any? Of course not. We're the Zero Strat team. Hashtag no DMC, baby.
I did like Grog's tweet where it's like, what was it? Like, yeah, sex is cool and all, but have you ever avoided getting DMCA?
You ever abstained from DMCA claims?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I actually I was about to like it, and I'm like, nope. Out of principle, because it's a DMCA tweet, I will not like it, even though I actually LOL'd.
And there was also a really small feature that they added as of like this quarter, where now you can watch VODs published and unpublished in the video producer. Before, this is like a kind of a non-thing, but before it used to like pop it open in a new window. Now you can watch it as an embed. I mean, it's like a cool feature, but really not that important. The meat of this is in quarter 2, so April through June of 2021, they have highlighted 3 things that are on their roadmap. The first is multi-track audio support in Twitch Studio, which, for anyone who doesn't, Twitch Studio is basically their OBS, like their software for broadcasting. It's like, I mean, maybe there's someone far away who's like going, yeah, like really excited by themselves, because I don't think anyone is using Twitch Studio, but the fact that they're bringing multi-track support in is nice, I guess.
Good for them.
Good for them. Good for you.
It's weird that they prioritize getting that out on OBS Studio and Streamlabs OBS before their own version.
Yeah.
You know? It's kind of strange, but
exactly.
you know.
Well, but that it is strange.
They know what people are using.
Exactly. I think Humps is right. It's like they know where their user base is, and it's not with their own software.
Yeah.
Which hurts, I'm sure, for them to say in a board meeting out loud in front of like developers, but it's true.
Yeah.
They're also, the second point on their roadmap for quarter 2 is re-architecture of the clips database so that you can expand selective deletion capabilities. So rather than being clicking the checkbox to mark everything that's visible or click select all, you'll be able to set criteria. So presumably you would be able to like choose things by like what directory you broadcast into, or Maybe there'll be keyword searches. We don't know yet, but basically it's going to make it so that you can selectively delete things with more control, so you can set parameters. The third thing is redesign our DMCA tools so that we can give you access to more information directly from your creator dashboard. It's vague, but they've already done this in regards to showing you through your dashboard whether or not you have copyright strikes. It just sounds like they're going to be adding on to that set of tools so that the dashboard is going to be more of a one-stop shop where you don't have to go through your main profile and then through your settings menu, etc. Dashboard is going to start to pull more of these things together so as to give you heads up on anything that is affecting your channel. So we don't know what those tools will be, but it says that it's specifically about DMCA tooling.
I think they
I
mentioned
think that is
like giving you a way to obviously track them, and I think they even said it will help you with like appealing as well, or give you information.
So
or something.
I think that bullet point was a segue into things that they're going to be introducing in Q3 and Q4. One of them, it says review VODs identified in DMCA notifications from your creator dashboard. So I think that ties in to that bullet point for Q2. And then also submit a counter notification from your creator dashboard. Kind of like how YouTube does right now. If you have someone who throws a claim on one of your videos to monetize it for themselves, you could dispute that if you feel like you have the evidence necessary to show where the material came from or that they are not the rights holder. And you can have that resolved, and YouTube basically forwards it back to them. They act as the intermediary, and then the decision is metered out by the platform, and then it's just resolved. So basically, you won't have to have these ambiguous claims. Some people posted on Twitter some months back where they would get like a claim, from either RIAA or another org, and the whole process for appeal is like so Byzantine and like confusing, probably on purpose, to make it so that you kind of can't appeal because you have to jump through this web portal to then send that email to do this thing, and they complicate the system enough that people just don't bother, and then they just delete the content, and then it goes unchallenged. This is actually going to be a great tool because it means that like content creators will have an opportunity to actually dispute it if they know that they're in the right. They don't have to be bullied, and they can just submit a counterclaim. The third thing for Q3 and Q4, and the last one, is sort and delete clips by date, game, or view count. So it sounds like the bulk of this is really going to be better management of your video on demand content, any clips that were made, allowing third-party individuals like your editors to access those things at will. And then I think the biggest benefits that we're going to see in this year is going to be having more information packed into that dashboard, and then being able to actually dispute claims directly through the dashboard and keep it all in-house, which I think is fantastic. It sucks that it's going to take a while for that to happen, but again, to be fair, the whole DMCA issue really ramped up within the year of 2020 as the economy kind of like tanked and went sideways worldwide. I think record companies were looking for ways to leverage their strength. And it just became a problem that is not affecting only Twitch as a platform, but it's also affecting YouTube has already been on top of it and in front of it for years,
for like a decade.
For so fucking long. So props to YouTube for being ahead of it, but Facebook was dealing with issues last year pertaining to it, and other platforms as well. So it's not just a Twitch thing, and they are being reactive to it rather than proactive the way YouTube was. But that's fine. Like I'm happy they're doing something, and the fact that they actually gave a timeline they put themselves in a position where they're made to be held accountable, because they didn't have to publish this timeline. They could have just done what they've done in the past, which is historically they put out a blog post on blog.twitch.tv. You read about it like after it's already launched, and then you're like, oh, that's a new thing, huh? I wonder why they didn't ask the community about that. It's very unusual actually for Twitch to announce what they're doing in advance. Typically, we almost always have seen new additions or changes to the platform come as a result of them just launching into the wild, and that's their test. Their beta test is a live launch.
Just let you know this is live to a certain group of people, and people are like, wait, what?
And so this is cool. I think actually seeing them articulate what they plan to do over the course of the year. Again, some of it is like saying re-architecture of our Clips database so that we can expand selective deletion capabilities as a whole is vaguish, but it's something. You
Yeah.
know, at least we know that it's a topic that's on the radar. So I applaud them for at least like throwing their hat in the ring and saying we're gonna tackle these things. This is roughly the window, and they even specify quarter 2 for them is going to be April through June. Quarter 3 and 4 is July through December. So you know we have a sense of what they're going to do, or aspire to do, and you know we just got to hold them accountable for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to bring up a comment in chat as well, Ginger said TikTok's becoming a good part of the conversation. The DMCAs are counterproductive for even the label, which is interesting because I mean, again, as far as we know, receiving a DMCA, the label's not making any money, right? And I have to assume that their end goal of this is if they DMCA people enough, maybe Twitch slips up and then they can do a lawsuit, right? So
Yeah.
that's kind of the angle they're going for. TikTok is a strange one because we all know TikTok has just an unthinkable amount of people watching on TikTok. That app is insane. And you're seeing labels and publishers actually paying influencers to use a certain song because they know if it blows up on TikTok, it'll be huge and they'll make a ton of money, right? And that the power of that is insane. So it's very different. Sometimes I will see like clips will have audio removed. Like maybe if I see a clip I think it's funny, I'll like it, and I'll go to show it to Dale the next day and there's no audio. It's been muted, right? Because there's been some kind of claim. So it does happen sometimes, but yeah, a lot of the time it is these labels actually paying for people to use that sound, which is kind of an interesting.
And I think another
mirror.
person that's kind of bringing the topic to at least this TikTok generation is Corpse Husband, because he's massive, huge, and against everything, against Spotify. I mean, he was because like he's never been on a Spotify playlist. He's not part of these big record things, so he's not getting these things, but he's still number one, like millions and millions in streams on Spotify without Spotify's playlist help, because that's how you get played on Spotify. You get on playlists. Playlists are like how Spotify created playlists is like what people listen to. So like getting on a playlist is how you get played. And he tweeted out, it's like, you guys aren't understanding this. Like, the reason why I'm so big, I let people use my shit. I let people listen to my songs. I let people get it out there.
Yeah.
And that's what they should do. That it's so stupid that the fight for corporate monetization of bullshit is superseding really your end goal, which is going to be a bigger paycheck. You know what I mean? Like, the bigger you are, the more demand you will have and create, and therefore more money you can make. And these record labels and companies and stuff, they're just like, they do not understand that. They don't get it. They just think like, oh, they're using our music, we're losing money. No. You're missing how things work now. You're working, get out of Mad Men. You know what I mean? These aren't those days anymore.
Yeah. I think part of what complicates all of it, and probably why they're so reluctant to just embrace that, is it's very difficult to put a price tag on free exposure.
Yeah.
Free exposure is not something that's going to sit neatly into a graphic projection for investors or shareholders. Like, free exposure is not a thing that can be banked on, but when it does happen, it can be incalculable in terms of like just how much it can like, I mean, it can turn what is like a no one overnight into a someone and make things explode. And then you've got sponsorship deals on the line, and then you've got all this money will come into the conversations sometimes very suddenly, because of just how the world and how like social platforms can like bring exposure to an artist. And the idea that like free exposure is a good thing and that it can like help people in the end, I don't think is lost on the record companies. But I think that it's not something that you can pin down and quantify with any certainty, and they don't like that. I think the ambiguity of success, if it can't be measured in like a concrete metric, it's not worth banking on or pursuing. And I think they just want to stick to what they know works.
Yeah.
Whether or not that's the right thing to do for them, they at least can point to data, and I'm sure that so much of this is data driven.
Yeah, absolutely. So moving on from DMCA, so we don't go down that whole rabbit hole again. There was a question in chat from Scott asking, are Twitch or other online platforms doing anything to combat the number of bot accounts that seem to be prevalent at the moment? So it kind of reminded me, I actually also once again got follow botted this past week. So last week it was about 700 new followers that were bots. This week I think it was about another 200. Super annoying, very irritating. I don't believe that it's a person maliciously doing it. I think it's a bot. I got raided. So this time I was actually raided by a channel. And when I looked at the channel, there was things on there suggesting that the whole point of the channel is that they operate these bots. And I think that by that channel raiding me, it then just whatever automatic system they had just started spitting out followers. Very annoying. I'm convinced that there was some chat bots in there as well, because there was names in the chat saying just quite generic things. And I did feel bad because there was one person that was
It's cold
saying
outside.
stuff. And I was like,
What?
wait, I was like, you specifically, I was like, say something only a human would say. And then my chat was like, oh, no. They're real. And then she was like, yeah, I'm not a bot. I'm sorry. I was like, oh, my bad. Like I totally called them out because like there was just spam of things being like, hey, entertain us, PogChamp. Oh, and I was like, this doesn't look like real people. But yeah, that was frustrating. Obviously we've seen the wannabe famous bots kicking around for the last year, probably more
About
than that.
10 minutes ago.
Yeah. I think Twitch on the back end is dealing with some of that stuff. If you remember a couple months back, people were getting hit with the fake raids where it was like, it would come up, be like, this person's raiding you with like 600 people or whatever. But it wasn't a real raid, but they were somehow fooling Twitch into, or fooling channels into having that notification pop up. And there was like a bunch of accounts. They all seem to have the word lunar in them. I was getting followed by all these accounts that said lunar something, and then they would just immediately unfollow again. And they were all bot accounts that were clearly just going around following channels and trying to get people to click on their page to then spit out these fake raids. It was very strange, but that seems to have been cut pretty quick. I don't know. I'd like to think Twitch are working on these wannabe famous bots. I don't think they would tell us. I think it's something that they would just want to work on in the background. You know, I feel like that's not something that they would want out there, because if Twitch comes out and says, oh, we know there's a bunch of bots and all this stuff, then all of a sudden there's all these headlines, oh, Twitch is full of bots, and it brings more attention to the issue, you know? So I hope that they're fixing it in the background, but who knows, really?
Yeah, I'm with Condi on this, and I also think that it is frustrating to not have any sort of public mouthpiece, either at Twitch or at Twitch support, or through the Twitch blog, like make any mention of whether this is on like a different development team's timeline to address, because we don't know. We haven't had any public statement in an official capacity about bots. The other thing that makes this complicated too is, while Condi was talking, on a whim, I just started looking through the mod actions on my Twitch dashboard. And, you know, sure enough, on a regular basis, there'll be stuff that's timed out. So, like, there's, you know, it'll be some jumble of, like, consonants and then some, like, weird-ass name and then a bunch of numbers, right? So, like, you'll have this bizarre username and, you know, it'll say timed out by so-and-so, you know, by a mod, or timed out by me, or banned by me. But then if you keep scrolling back, after a period of time, what's interesting is often if you go through your own mod actions list in the dashboard, you'll start to see stuff like unknown user banned or unknown user timed out. Unknown user is code for an account that doesn't exist anymore. So unknown user is not that the information isn't retrievable. It just means the account doesn't exist. Now, if I go back 10 days ago, there was a AH Ryan 133073, some random ass thing, banned by me because they were spamming "want to be famous" or whatever, and it was a bot. But prior to that, like about 8 days ago, there were two other bans that I made, and they're listed as unknown user. They weren't unknown at the time, and they're not unknown now. It's just the accounts have been deleted, and and that just highlights the issue that these accounts get made and they get unmade. Like once they get banned enough on enough channels, or they get timed out enough on enough channels, they delete themselves and then they just make a new one. And I think Twitch will probably have to come down on doing some sort of like two-step authentication for like making accounts. Either they tie, you know, all new account creation to like you have to have a legitimate phone number that you like get sent a code on or something. Because these accounts aren't ever going to go away if they keep being made and unmade so readily. And I think that's the issue. I don't think that they want bots. I just don't know that they have a good skill set in place to like make sure that they don't get created to start. Because yeah, we see them all the time. I mean, again, like as you know, Hums mentioned, we got one in the chat like that we banned while we're live.
Yeah,
so
it's just an everyday thing now. You're just, you know, every single time I see a name I don't recognize and it immediately pops up with a message deleted because I've got my bot set to just remove them. I don't even need to click on it. I'm like, I know it's want to be famous. Like every day, at least one a day, you know, we've just all kind of, or certainly I've just got used to it now. It's just part of the stream. You get the want to be famous bot pop up. It's very interesting. And I don't know what obviously those kind of bots are just trying to push traffic to a website where they can then sell you view bots or follow bots or whatever. And I went to one of them. One of these websites popped up on my Facebook recommended, like in my feed, and it was like, oh, gaining thousands of viewers immediately. And I was like, I'm really curious. Let's just click on this and have a read what this website says. And it's like, it says shit like, you know, oh, this is 100% legitimate and, you know, you're totally safe from Twitch. And it's like, and they're trying to sell this idea that like you've just started streaming and, you know, you can have all these bots and they charge you so much money. And it's like the audience of people that are going to be buying this are just so unaware of how blatantly obvious it's going to be, you know, if you've suddenly got all these. I mean, we talked about it a little bit last week with somebody in the Call of Duty community, right? That was saying they were going to be partnered in a week or something. You know, it's just people that don't understand it. And I wonder.
Started his channel with 43,000 followers.
Exactly.
Started the channel. No streams.
It's like, you know, I don't know if the companies aren't aware of that or if they're just banking on people that are new to the platform that don't understand how it works. But it's just so never do it unless if we're not being obvious enough. Like it's so transparent. It is so transparent and obvious. And you know, I've had people that I've been following in the past, and I've been like, oh, this person's live. I've not seen them in a while, and I jump in, and it's like, there's something fishy going on in the stream, and then I'll keep an eye on it over the next week, and then I'm like, it's so obvious that they're viewbotting, and I'm just gonna unfollow and leave because, you know, their follower count isn't going up, but they've got 100 live viewers every day. No, it doesn't make any sense, and it's like, why are you're honestly completely killing your own chances of growth. It's unbelievable. And the fact that these ads are like getting sponsored and popping up on my Facebook, because my Facebook obviously recognizes, oh, hey, this guy clicks on Twitch links. So anything that's related to Twitch and streaming, we're just going to push onto his feed. And it just blows my mind. I don't know.
You're over explaining that situation a little too much, Connie. We get it. You were clicking on it for investigatorial reasons. Sure.
Well, it is. I guess maybe it's a bit suspicious that I've been followed by this past week. But if you were there, I did not like it was not a fun time, and I certainly wouldn't add all those followers while I'm live. Because it's awful. My like bot saying like thank you for the follow just fills up the whole chat. Like it's horrible. I hate it. But yeah, I don't know what the appeal with a lot of these bots are, particularly the ones that were hitting me recently. I see the channel that raided me, I went and had a look, and they had 3 things in their panels down below their stream. And it was like they had a Twitter account that was private. They had a Discord link, which I was like, I'm not fucking joining that. And then they had a PayPal. And the PayPal link basically said, you know, any donations help to keep our sentient chatbot supported. And I was like,
sentient, it's self-aware.
that's what they said.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so I mean, that answers my questions. That the raid came in, 5 minutes later, I started getting spammed with fake follows. And I'm positive there was some chatbots talking away, saying random shit that was irrelevant. You know, I was
Does that
like,
mean if you delete the bot, you're committing murder? Like it's self-aware. So like, now is time to die. Goodbye.
I don't know.
Tears
It's
in the rain.
Don't kill me, Gandhi.
it's a problem, and I don't know what can be done. Like Grog says, it's very difficult. And I think bots are always going to be around, you know.
Something that was pointed out in chat by Vool and Scott and some others is that I think 2-factor authentication for starting new accounts might be a good idea. We've already seen that happen with various game developers to combat cheating. Bungie was kind of like late to the game, but Activision actually, as much as I find them frustrating as all hell, Activision did that pretty early with Call of Duty. I mean, one of the ideas is that in these free-to-play games where so many people are cheating, one of the tools was to basically say, okay, well, you can't make a new account without giving us a phone number that hasn't been used before. Now, granted, there's ways around that, but I think even Activision made it so that you couldn't just use like a digitally created like Google phone number, which you would just generate on the fly. It had to be like through like an actual provider. And I'm sure that people like know how to get around that stuff, but it does complicate the process, and that might see like
A reduction.
a reduction, exactly, a reduction of like these kinds of bots. However, I have an anecdote where I got a person who came to chat. They typed !Discord. So it wasn't they didn't like do anything, but just they came in the chat. They typed !Discord. I just assumed they were someone who was lurking that wanted to like maybe check out the Discord and like, you know, kind of spec the community. And then I got while I was live, I got a private DM from them, basically that was a business advertisement for some anomalous service like channel growth or some other bullshit. And it's like, here you can join our Discord, and then there's this other stuff, and it was a link to their website. And I wrote back something to the effect of like, hey, not gonna lie, this is like a really bad look for you to just like hang out in a stream, but like not hang out, join my Discord just to DM me and then like upsell me some advertisement. And I was like, yeah, this is kind of scummy. And they responded back. It was a real human, and they're like, oh, sorry. I mean, I didn't want it to come off that way, but I do think that our services are pretty good. So like, even these things might be real people. Like some of them could be real people. This was a guy who messaged me back and forth like 2 or 3 times before I just like deleted the whole conversation. And I just wanted to say like, well, thanks for responding, but also I don't think you're getting the point, because they tried to upsell me on their response. Like again, they tried to like make a pitch, and I mean, there are even human beings that are sitting at computers going from chat to chat, like sending you stuff. So and it's
interesting because I had sort of a similar one where somebody joined my Discord and DM'd me while I was live, and they were offering to edit videos, but it was like this big long message, and it looked very copy pasted. Just, hey, I'm offering this service for editing videos, and they gave me a link to the channel. I went and checked it out, and it's not even the message was like, I edit the best bits of your stream and post it on my channel. And I went to the YouTube channel, and it's just like clips cut together, no real editing, just clips cut together, which I was like, you know, anybody with like 10 minutes could have done that. So it's a bit like, you know, maybe they're just getting started out, whatever. But the message came to Discord, I then got a whisper on Twitch with the identical message. I then got a Twitter DM with an identical message. And today I got an Instagram DM with an identical message, all from the same person. They've literally contacted me on every single platform that they can. I couldn't believe it. I haven't responded to any of them, but they've just sent the same message fucking everywhere. And I don't know if I'm assuming it's not a bot, if it's clever enough to have found every single one of my socials and sent me a message. But it is very, very weird. It's very weird. I have one more thing I want to talk about before we wrap up today, which is the subathon that Ludwig is currently having. And my chat are sick of hearing about it because I just keep talking about it because I think it's fascinating. But he's doing a subathon, which is where, you know, you start out with a timer, and for every new subscriber you get, it adds time onto that timer, and you keep going until the timer hits 0. So for his, every sub adds 10 seconds, and he's currently been live for a week straight.
Oh shit.
He started this last Sunday. Last time I checked, he still had like 67 hours on the timer. He's been live for an entire week already. And I just think this is really interesting because I've seen a lot of people talk about it. I don't know. I remember we had Corpy on here who had the record for a while for longest stream. I don't remember what his record was.
It's like 240 something hours.
Right.
And it had been beat since, I think.
Yeah, I think it had. So I don't think he's getting to that territory of longest stream, but obviously now it appears that people are allowed to sleep on stream, which has made this whole thing obviously much, much easier for Ludwig. But yeah, it's insane.
So does he not put up like an away?
No,
overlay?
he sleeps.
Like
he has a bed in his room and he just sleeps, and his mods take over the stream. So the last few days I've been watching, he just sleeps.
Okay.
He bought a like a Lightning McQueen bed or something, and he has it in his stream room. I think he said because he went on a trip and he has to self-isolate when he came back from his flatmates. So he just decided to do this stream. And obviously, yeah, apparently you're now allowed to sleep on stream. My chat was saying as long as you're not in a specific directory, which looking at it, you know, if I'm looking at my chat, my page right now, it doesn't have a game listed underneath him. It just is blank. You're allowed to just sleep on stream. So he has media share, so people can donate to play videos on the stream, and his mods are just running it while he's asleep. But I mean, I tabbed over yesterday, and he was asleep with a level 5 hype train at like 3,000%. Because the way it's working out, I was watching a video where he talked about it. The way it's working out is that his chat are basically deciding on a number on the timer, and then they're working together to make sure that number stays. So for ages, they were like, we have to keep it at 69 hours. So every time it would dip below, you would just see tons of subs to get it back to 69 hours. Just constantly doing that. And I think he's currently number 2 most subbed behind Rambo.
He has how many subs right now?
Last I checked was 92K.
Oh my god.
So this is the kind of like 21st century memery that gets like GameStop on the like Fortune 500.
Yep.
You know, like stock list. Like
I mean, it's very reminiscent of the Kardashian and like how she was closest to being the youngest billionaire, and people were like just like sending her money. People were like, why are you trying to get her to be a billionaire?
Yeah.
You're sending money to this girl to be a billionaire. Yeah, it's cool. You know, that's everyone's idea. They're like, that's cool.
I saw a TikTok today where somebody sat down and done the math on how many hours he's been live, how many subs he's gained, and based on just subs this past week he has made 151,000. But the thing is,
it's not a bad go.
What I love about it is that it's classic Twitch chat is that when he's awake, obviously he's still gaining subs but not at the same level. When he goes to sleep, they go insane because it's I guess, and I think it's kind of funny as well that he's looking at it being like, okay, there's X amount of hours on the timer, I'm gonna go sleep for 8 hours, and then he wakes up and the timer's higher than it was. Can you imagine? Like, I gotta say, I struggle going past like 8 hours on the stream. streaming for a week. I mean, yeah, he gets to sleep, but that's got to be hard work.
I mean, it's gotta get boring, man. I
Yeah.
mean, just staying in here for a week. Ugh.
I'd also think that like his computer just wants to die inside.
Oh yeah, that thing's just like.
But it's still going. It looks like he could be going for quite a while yet. So I just thought it was interesting because it's kind of a unique event, really. And yeah,
On one level, I hate it. I hate it so
Yeah.
much. And then on the other level, I gotta respect
Yeah.
it. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to say love it, but I do respect it. I mean, the guy came up with an idea. I can't stop the stream as long as this counter is still running, and then people keep the counter running for the lulls, and therefore he just is making money while he sleeps. It's kind of brilliant. I hate it, but it's fucking like it's whatever. I'm
That's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I need.
yeah, it's
Next
absolutely...
week I'm gonna be live all week, sleeping 24/7. Hit me up, subathon. Yeah.
What I'm interested is to see, like, because obviously nobody's even thinking about any other income he's getting from this, but like even the ad revenue, because he's been consistently consistently over like 30k viewers this whole time. I mean, he gets about, I would say, I like Ludwig. I watch his streams a lot, so I would say he's more in the, has been up in sort of the 20 to 25k average maybe, but this is obviously it's getting a lot of attention right now, so his numbers are higher. But I just think it's fascinating that there's like so many people there just watching a man sleep for hours and hours and hours. It's crazy. So yeah, I mean, good on him. It's interesting if nothing else, and I think he will end up being top subbed by the end of the whole thing. Anyway, we got anything else to cover, or are we about good to wrap up there?
I think that's good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. All right, perfect. Grog, where can everyone find you, and what do you want to plug?
People can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/grogmode. You can find me on other platforms like Twitter at gamer_grog. Stream 5 days a week, Monday through Thursday. It's just me, and then on Saturdays I stream with my wife, Arcade Riot. This week I'm gonna be doing.
Wow.
This week I'm gonna be doing probably more Rocket League. I really want to get some practice in on like my aerial control, like just kind of moving through the air. And I want to play some more ranked because I think that was really fun. Probably going to be playing more Apex, more Warzone, more Loop Hero. I keep saying that I'm going to do more Cyberpunk, and then like I really do intend to do it. But then what will happen is somebody sends me a message out of the blue like, "Hey, do you want to go play Apex?" And I'm just like, "Yeah."
Kinda.
I mean, like the thing is, I like games for the social component. Honestly, like that is my prime motivator for playing games. And although I like games that I play alone, I always have gravitated towards games that are social, especially when I can spend time with friends that I already like and I can laugh with, and all that stuff really encourages me. So at the drop of a hat, if it's like play single player game for chat or play with friends also for chat, like it's too easy to say yes. So some of those games like Cyberpunk just keep falling by the wayside. But yeah, I'm gonna try and do a little bit more of that this week because I want to finish that soon.
Heck yeah. Humps, what about yourself?
I'll be on night shift all this coming week, so not a whole lot of streams. I'll be able to stream tomorrow. I'll go live tomorrow, but then probably not for the rest of the week. You can find me on all the socials, Sir Humps everywhere, @_ on Twitter. Be playing some Destiny tomorrow probably. It's Trials this weekend, and it's hand cannon at 3 wins. And me and Connie were playing yesterday, and it was fun. We played hours of Trials. We got our hand cannons. I don't think we encountered a single hacker that entire time. At least no one that was obvious.
Just a bunch of teams that were throwing themselves off the map at the start. Just
yeah,
to,
I mean, there was
the
that. There was people throwing off. I mean, it's a good thing about this weekend with Trials is you get a decent population with It shows what good loot and obtainable loot will do for a game mode in a game. So, but that's what I'll be doing. Yeah, chilling on Destiny tomorrow, and then work all week.
All right, and yeah, for me, my name's Condyfly. You can find me everywhere on Condyfly. I don't think I'll be on tomorrow, unfortunately, with just work. I think it's not going to happen. But the rest of the week, I want to just do a bunch more Valheim. I'm really going to try and get this video out from the head-to-head with Grog, because I kind of don't want to do another head-to-head event until I've got the videos out, because I don't want to create this huge backlog for myself. But I may, particularly if I get your footage as well, Grog, I may split that into like 3 separate videos, like the wiki race.
Oh
the
yeah,
GS,
for
the
each,
Rocket League
challenge.
Otherwise, it's gonna be like a 2-hour-long video. So I think I may split that up. But I'm gonna try and get at least one of those done this week. So hopefully that'll be out, and then we can go back to gaming, get some more Apex and everything done. But
Didn't
yeah,
even mention Destiny. Didn't even mention it. It's not even a topic they bring up. It's like, oh, we might play some Apex, or we might play some Valheim, or we might play some, I don't know, Fortnite.
I played with you for hours yesterday on Destiny.
Whatever.
It's never
Only
enough.
because
Is it,
Manu was
Humps?
playing.
It's never enough for you.
Only because Manu was there.
But more
He just
importantly,
can't get enough of you, Condi.
yeah, well, he's only human. I understand. More importantly,
cute.
check out the podcast. If you've been watching live and you like what you saw, we have a YouTube channel, and all the previous episodes can be found there and on Spotify. And I think we're also on like Google Podcasts and stuff, but I never really plug that. Spotify is the place to be. So check that out. If you're listening on any of those audio platforms, we do this live on Twitch as well, so you can come and ask us questions and talk to us in chat. It's a good time. Twitch.tv/Zero Strategy Podcast. We got the usuals. We got Twitter. We have a Discord, and you know, all those fun things. We are going to go raid someone, so please do stick around for that. But we'll be back next week. I think that's it. I think the reason that Cyber and Eve aren't here, you know, suspiciously, I haven't heard from them about any DMCAs on their channel. So, what if they each have one and they were too ashamed to show their
That
faces?
could be it. That could be it. Because we don't talk about it much, but that is a rule, a requirement to be in Zero Strat. You have to maintain 0 DMCA strikes.
As soon as you get one, that's it. You're out.
Out.
So maybe that's the
Gone.
reason. I mean, we'll find out next week. Hopefully they're back and we can grill them on it. But yeah, anyway, thank you very much, everyone. We will see you next time. And have a great week, everyone. Bye.
Peace out.
Bye.